Welcome back to another episode of Ultras 11. I feel like I have to think of something like different to say instead of saying welcome back all the time. But you guys know who we are.
You can't really say anything else, man. You're just welcoming him back.
It's
another week of us.
I don't know. It's just I feel like it's just not even original anymore. Like, gotta get something crazy, like some like hype man. Like on TikTok, how you see like those.
We can get Macho Man Randy Savage to come do it for us.
No, we can't get that. He's dead.
Yeah, but like
he's like
AI.
Yeah, and then we could win a Grammy like Kendrick Lamar.
Pretty much.
But hey Al,
Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go hand him a Grammy right now.
Pretty gangster actually. 'Cause, like as much as he did win a Grammy for a diss track, kind of funny that
Drake called him on his bullshit.
Exactly. But
I don't know.
Guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm still Jose.
I'm not Al anymore.
Al's changing his name.
Yep.
Al's just the dude being a guy now.
Now you can call me Rex.
Well, it does rhyme with Alex.
I opened up my own dojo. It's called the Rex Kwando. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we missed last week. So, technically speaking...
Okay, nothing crazy happened.
But they missed keeping up with Jose and Al.
Yeah, I know, but like nothing crazy happened. So like we don't even have to talk about it.
Why?
Nothing happened. So like we can skip both last week. We can talk about this week.
That's the whole point. That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, just talk about this week. We don't talk about last week, although wherever we missed. Was just...
Did Juve lose?
No, we didn't lose 2-1 to Napoli, and I don't want to talk about it.
We didn't lose to Benfica, right?
No, we didn't do that either.
Yeah.
This is a whole new week, Joe.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the past, like Milan fans.
Well, Juve
living in the
Juve
present.
lost to Napoli.
We beat Milan, though. No big deal.
Roma tied Napoli this weekend. But of course, fucking Big Ange scored a fucking thunder cunt of a volley.
Big Ange came in at the last second to save the day.
I told you, Angelino and Ndika have been our two most consistent players.
Okay, so we're starting off with Roma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, your thoughts are on Wild. Roma's sick.
Talk about Angelino.
Angelino's sick. Evan Ndika's sick.
Dude, Angelino, man. No, I tripped the guy.
I know. I chirped him. Yeah, I actually chirped him too. He chose number 69.
Not even the fact that like he scored a fucking rocket of a shot. Like that was absolutely beautiful,
dude. He's
been actually good, man.
He moves nicely, and it's crazy. Who would have thought a left back playing left back instead of a left back playing center back?
Super weird, but it works.
Ivan Juric, take note. Do things like this.
It's so weird. It actually worked.
Yeah. Who would have thought playing a guy in their position would be beneficial to the team and to the player? Not me. I would have done the exact same thing, but you were so right.
Not talking about just the good part. How did it feel seeing Spinazzola score against you guys?
You know what, man?
A former player.
I'm going to say one thing.
And Lukaku choose to not celebrate as well.
That was probably the funniest thing. So, I was at work yesterday, so I had to watch the games while I was at work. Thank God there was a guy there, my little guardian angel. He was an Inter fan, which kind of sucked, but like he asked to put the game on during his grandson's 1-year-old birthday. Fired me up. He was sitting at the bar the whole time. Perfect. Love that. Watched the game, and when I saw Spinazzola score, it was genuinely like a very, very bittersweet feeling. It's like I didn't want Spina to leave.
Yeah.
But I understood why we didn't extend. You know, a guy like, when he's there and playing and he's on, obviously I'm not going to say he's generational or anything like that, but he's good.
No, he's good.
Very, very solid.
He can change a game.
And I do think, like, given Roma's setup right now, like, Spina would be great as long as, again, he stays healthy. But see, that's the biggest thing. Does he stay healthy? Roma since I can't even remember the last time I could look at anybody and say our left back and right back situation is sorted out. You know, like even present day, I could look at you and say, oh yeah, perfect. Our left back situation is sorted out with Angelino. He has the energy. He's doing it, whatever. Our depth is young kids, but it could be worse.
And Zeki Celik.
No, he's a right back. But see, then you look at our right back situation. What the fuck is going on there?
Yeah, I do.
Zeki Celik genuinely
one
sucks.
position at a time, man. Can't be jumping too much.
Well, we just signed Chris Victor Nelson. Apparently, plays right back. But the
Spinazzola situation, like I get, it was the exact same thing with Dybala.
Yeah,
it came to that point to extend, and at that time with the injuries and everything, you look at it from all sides. Like, it sucks, but you can't justify it.
Yeah.
So you got to let them walk. And you know what? Look, now with him, I feel like he, yes, he's had time out with injuries and everything.
Dybala, you're saying?
Dybala.
Okay, yeah.
But he's been a lot he's been a lot more consistent with
Yes.
how many games he's been playing and how much times you're actually seeing him out there on the pitch, which I love to see. Like, you know me, how much I love Dybala. Like, it's that whole thing sucked. I get it. I understand it, especially the time where we were at. But, you know, it sucks seeing, but then you're happy because, like, I feel like Spinazzola now, too, with Napoli, he hasn't really been injured. Like, he's been there for the most part with them. Like, he's kind of done, like, a 360 as well. And, you know, like, from you, it's like, fuck, you know, if only he did that with us, he probably still would have been there.
Well, it's almost like a cycle in his career, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at Juve. He was injury ridden, stuff like that.
He came, he was good. Then he got injuries, and that's what held him back.
Yeah, he couldn't come back. He came to Roma on the free. First season, wishy-washy. Second season, that's when it was like, yo, this guy's generational. This guy's absolutely fucked. Tears his Achilles in the Euro, which, whatever. And then 2 years on, he, like, you know, like, that season coming back from the Achilles, he didn't play as much.
Mm-hmm.
Season after, it's like, okay, maybe Spina's back. But you saw he kept on picking up random injuries again and stuff like that. So it's almost like a cycle of his career where it's like he gives you 2 good years, injured for another 2.
Yeah.
And it's like, it sucks, but I have nothing but respect for Spina.
Dude.
I was actually kind of aggravated when I saw he was subbed out second half that the Roma fans were booing him.
Mm.
Like, a guy like that, man, like, he never wronged Roma. He never talked bad. He only speaks fondly. Like, I get it sucks. He scored and this and that, but, you know, you should have that respect for players like that. You know, like, he didn't do anything. He also was still good friends with guys like Mancini, Pellegrini, Cristante, like, stuff like that. So it's like, come on.
No.
Have that little respect for the guy that gave so much to the club. Yeah, maybe he didn't win all the trophies in the world and this and that. He might win a trophy this year, you know, if Napoli could hold the first place. But at the same time, like, you don't boo him. Lukaku boo him.
Yeah.
When I saw Spina, like, genuinely, like, not celebrate, whatever, and then Lukaku goes up to him, makes the same, like, thing and doesn't celebrate, I'm just like, yo, you didn't score. Like, what's up? No one cares for you. You were also there for a year.
No one cares that you didn't celebrate your goal. We're still going to boo you.
Sick, dude. You aren't cool at all, actually. You're weird. But, yeah, no, it was nice to see Roma actually fight, come back, make that last-minute attempt, and actually get a draw because, like, the second half, if we play like that all game, makes you wonder, right? Like, if we actually pressed Napoli, like, and it's funny because Ranieri in his pre-match press conference made a comment saying Napoli's most devastating in the second half. Yeah. That's where all their goals come from. Like, there's literally a stat about how over 70% of their goals, 70% of their goals happen in the second half. So that's when you saw we put Paredes in, we put all our bigger names out. Well, not bigger names, but more solidified players, and we started playing better. So we nullified their second half resurgence, but we conceded in the first. Yeah. If we didn't concede in the first, I think I'm not saying Napoli wouldn't have pressed and they wouldn't have scored, but you saw us playing a whole different game.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it makes you question, hey, what if we did this from the get-go?
But then you also see too in the second half. Yes, Napoli they're still a threat, and especially with that stat of them being in the second half, but they also changed their game to being 1-0 up. Yeah. They weren't as aggressive. Like if they were 0-0 still going into the second half, you would see Napoli a lot more aggressive in every battle, with everything they're doing, because they'll do anything to get that first goal. Yes, they'll try for another one, but they're not going to make that their mission. They're still going to try to hold tight, make sure everything's nice and secure, and then and you know, try to get the win. But you know, you guys did well, man. You guys shut them down this weekend. Came out with 1 point each.
It's honestly pretty crazy because when I looked at our starting 11, like, okay, everyone says Eldor Shomurodov sucks, and he does. I get it. But I like a guy like Eldor Shomurodov. You know, he presses the D, he runs everywhere, he's fast as heck.
Fucking hate him.
Yeah, I know everyone does. He genuinely isn't the best player. But to see us start almost a full 11 of just all, like, our bench players, like, you know, Cristante started. He hasn't played in a while. Like, that's Paredes' spot. Pisilli, obviously, he is in and out, whatever. But our whole front line, bench players. Yeah. You know, not one was a real starter. And we still only kept them at 1-0. It just goes to show, like, Roma actually has a fight in them. They have the fight too. Like, they have the depth. They have this. They have that.
They just can't do it consistently, and it's. I don't know. It's like I've watched that Roma game against Napoli. I watched the full thing, and like I've also watched, you know, you guys other games where you just don't look threatening at all. Half the game you guys look like you're lost. Yeah, and it's just like it's a completely different team. Like it really is crazy because it's honestly like you're watching two different teams.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like I see what you guys can do when you're good, but man, when you guys are bad, it's like you guys can't make a pass. Really like bad. Everyone looks lost. No one looks like they want to be there. But man, you guys pulled it together this weekend.
Yeah. Now it's like we've had 3 games in 8 days. We play again on Wednesday against Milan for a Coppa Italia, which I said in the group chat, like, I don't want Roma to ever lose. I want us to win every single game. That'd be perfect. That's idealistic, but it's also not realistic. Considering, like, again, our lack of depth, A, B, competing on 3 fronts. And yeah, okay, could I turn around and say Coppa Italia could be an easier time to win a trophy or this or that? Yeah, because we're already in the semis.
Yeah.
But I would rather go for Europa League. Meet up with Lazio potentially again in the Europa League.
This is the quarters now.
Yeah. Well, it's a playoff round.
Yeah, the quarters.
For what? Coppa Italia or
Yeah.
something? Oh, no, I'm talking about Europa.
Oh, yeah.
We have a playoff game against Porto, which I'm not saying is easy and it's an automatic lock, whatever. We go to the next round. But, we've had our good games against Porto, and I'm hoping we could replicate that, get that going again. But, yeah, I'd rather compete in Serie A, finish top 4, and compete in Europa League. That would mean more to me at least.
Yeah, 100%.
Than the Coppa Italia, right? Coppa Italia is a bragging right. But we get a cute target on our jersey.
The good thing about Coppa Italia is, okay, you guys play now. Let's say you guys beat
Milan.
You guys beat Milan. The next game you're gonna have to play is, I think it's Inter or Lazio.
Yeah.
Which either way will be a big game for Roma. But that game's not until April.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going to be, kind of in between these Europa League games. So even if you guys do make it, it's not until, 2 months from now where you have the time, whatever. And then when that time comes, you got your semi, and then the final is not until May. Yeah. So the good thing with Coppa Italia is just the way it's spaced out.
Yeah. That,
it's not like it's kind of mixed in with the Europa League. And then, you're playing fucking every 2 days you have a game.
Yeah, but knowing Roma will still somehow. Again, we'll have our injuries or something will happen. So that's why it's like, let's do damage control here. Let's make sure we're not fucking the dog completely. Yeah. But enough about Roma. Let's talk about you guys. Because last time we did the Keeping Up with Jose and Al, we talked for 45 minutes about our teams.
Yeah.
And we have to try to keep it at a minimum.
I know.
Here.
I'll try to.
So let's talk about Juve a little bit. You guys won this weekend.
Yes.
You guys beat Empoli.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I know I said I didn't want to talk about them, but I'll go quickly over the other 2 games that we missed.
Let's talk about Kolo Muani, because he's been a very bright spot. So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about if you think or you'd like to see him next year.
Be a permanent deal.
Like a permanent deal, whatever.
I know it's speaking early. I mean, we've seen him 2 games playing, but I mean, in 2 games he's gotten 3 goals so far. He's the player, like one of the players that he fits the system. He fits Thiago Motta's style and just the team in general. You can already see in he's hasn't been in the whole first part of the season, but you saw the way he's making those runs and making these 1-2 movements, even with Yildiz connecting with like fucking Koopmeiners, everybody, like literally just his off ball movement and just the way he's moving, passing the ball around. It's like he's been there since the beginning. Like he understands, he knows the system and everything. Like I get it. These things aren't, very complex, especially for these professionals, but coming to a new team and everything, like sometimes it's hard to adapt, and seeing that he started fucking 2 days, 3 days after he arrived was already crazy enough. But seeing the impact that he had, and then this game here this weekend, another time, okay, the 1 goal, he bodied out the guy, scored a nice, beautiful finish short side. The second goal, okay, it took a deflection, but still, like, it was just the way he played himself and the way he kind of stood out of the way, but it took that deflection off his foot. Dude, his movement and his placement of where he is has been sensational. Yeah. I know I'm not saying he's a generational talent that we're getting, and this guy he's going to be the greatest striker in the world. He's got a lot of potential. He's young, and if we can get a deal at a good cost for him, dude, I'd be ecstatic.
But would you be okay with a potential? Let's just say this is hypothetical, whatever. Literally a direct swap, no cash involved or whatever. Vlahovic for Kolo Muani.
I'd be down for the deal, but I'd also feel like we'd be like value, like market value wise, we'd be losing. They would have to add either cash, or if we would get like another player from them included, and then maybe we added cash depending who it was. But they'd have to do something like that, because then, like right now, market value wise, Vlahovic is higher than Kolo Muani. So they would have to try to figure something like that and not just get finessed by, especially PSG. Like, it's PSG. they're not scared to spend money. You got to try to either ask for more, or you try to take another player.
And do you think now that
Nuno Mendes, if we sell
that would be crazy.
Hey, if we sell Cambiaso,
but I was gonna say nothing's off the table then at that point. If you guys get rid of Cambiaso, that means you will have the 80 mil at your disposal to spend.
Yep.
And you'll have a vacant position that Nuno Mendes could fill, right? Back to the whole Vlahovic thing. Do you think with Kolo Muani coming in, not knowing the system, not knowing whatever, and him playing as well as he did, kind of makes like upper management, even the coach, question Vlahovic and if he is the guy for the future?
Well, I mean, it obviously shows that, like, yes, for as good as Vlahovic is, and he, like, he could score goals consistently for the most part. It's not hard to fill that role. Somebody came in and in 2 games has looked very impressive. That if we lost Vlahovic, or he got injured, we'd be completely fine right now.
Yeah.
So when you see that, and I also I think with the whole contract thing with Vlahovic, and that kind of negotiation or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know if they're even negotiating anymore at this point. But seeing that kind of looming right now, and they don't know the future. You bring this guy in and you already see that impact. Okay, you can't jump to conclusions. You got to see how the rest of the season goes and how much of an impact he has. But if he keeps this up for the most part, you really got to look at it and say, look, hey, like Vlahovic, you're still our guy, because he still is, like, he's still a part of the team, and he even with his like what he does. And that's the thing what people don't look at, obviously, and like I know we always say this because everyone now is all horny for stats. The things he does sometimes off the ball and the spaces he creates, Vlahovic does very well. He's gotten a lot better at it. And like even this year, for his numbers, he's still having a good season, not a great season, but with that and just seeing the games that he's playing and what he's doing for other players, he makes an impact. So losing a guy like that, yeah, it's tough. But if you have a guy like Kolo Muani, who we can sign him for at a cheaper cost, like for salary wise, and you see the impact he's bringing, and he fits the system. Yeah. You have the upper hand in that situation. If you're losing Vlahovic and you're keeping Kolo Muani in the end, I think we're in a good position. Yeah. Then you're just finding a backup for him, because we're not relying on Milik for another season, because we've seen how that went.
Yeah, exactly. Now, last thing, then we'll switch over. And I don't mean to stir up some controversy or thoughts, negative thoughts. Juve, their market, January was kind of like whatever. But there's a lot of names that are rumored for to leave, this and that, in the dying moments. I don't know if is today the deadline.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I assume that maybe it will happen later on, whatever. So regardless, Nicolo Fagioli. Okay, we touched upon Cambiaso 2 weeks ago, so we're not going to touch upon him again. We talked about that.
I mean, he's not going anywhere now. If
anything,
that's
a summertime thing. Maybe
that they already came on.
I want to talk about Fagioli briefly because he is heavily linked.
No, it's done now.
Oh, it's done.
It's done. 15 mil plus 3 mil bonuses.
Okay, you guys sold Nicolo Fagioli officially to Fiorentina,
and I think we either have a 15 or 20%
sell-on clause.
Sell-on clause.
Okay, now what do you make of that deal? What do you think is going on with upper management? Do you think there's something behind the scenes we don't know? Is Juve playing 4D chess here, or is it just you need to make a quick buck? That guy was on the market because you have players. What is it?
For me, it's either one of two things. Number one, that obviously this again, being an Italian team, we don't have this endless amount of money. Like City can just go in January and spend 130 mil they're with their eyes closed, like nothing, no big deal. So obviously we have to make signings because with losing Bremer, okay, we have to address now our center backs. Then losing Cabal, you have to address another defender, bringing in with whole Milik situation, you got to bring in a striker. So we're trying to make these deals, trying to make things happen. And you saw recently how good Locatelli's been playing, how good Thuram's been playing. Even Douglas Luiz, the 2 games he started, he's been for me, he's been playing very well. Even Koopmeiners, I know he's been very average all season. I was very excited for him. I'll be the first to admit it. The last 2 games, he's been looking a lot more confident with the ball, and even his passing, you're seeing what the fuck we actually somewhat paid for. Like which is nice to see. So, having all these guys, doing well, and, maybe just him falling down, the pecking order, and he has, some value to him. So you was like, we can use that and, use it to kind of cover, who we're getting on, as our center back now, to fill the role and kind of go that way. Or he got back into gambling. And Juve knows that, and maybe like with Tonali with Milan, how they were just like, and it was like everyone's like, why the fuck did Milan? Like, a couple months later, they're like, Milan's smart, man. Yeah, Milan won that 4D chess over here. So for me, it's one of those two, because other than that, it doesn't make sense. Beginning of the season, fucking management's talking highly of him. Now he's back. Mota's talking highly of him, saying like he's excited to work with him, and he's gonna be a big part of the team. To him playing games, he made a mistake one game, I think in Champions League. Played like a decent game, didn't really touch the field again, got subbed on a couple times, but it was just never the same.
Yeah.
How something changed, something happened, because from going one direction, you think, okay, yeah, this guy, he could be a future coach. The new coach likes him, management likes him. They stood by him with this whole gambling thing, and now, yeah, we're gonna get rid of you.
I think that's the biggest thing that stands out to me. It's like, if you had intentions of
at that time, you was just gonna look at the end of it, look like a piece of shit if they just released him after that whole thing.
No,
I know it's still gambling and it's wrong, but it's like, oh yeah, they don't even back their players. Like if they do something like, at least this kind of was like, oh fuck, like, like you would back them, like even going through that kind of stuff.
But then why would you back him? Still pay him, not even give him like a pay cut or anything like that, and just to get rid of him. You know what I mean? Like that's why it doesn't make sense. That's why I think, going back to like the two things you said, I think it's the latter. I think he's into something again. And it sounds crazy. I know, like, maybe this is me being a pessimist or whatever. Mm-hmm. It just fully doesn't make sense to me, because it's not as if, like, again, okay, yes, Tudor's doing well. Douglas Luiz is doing well. Locatelli, this guy, whatever.
He's going to be with Bova.
Bova's not playing right now.
Yeah, but like he's going to be chilling with him.
No, he's not allowed to chill with Bova.
He's going to get Bova into these things.
Yeah, no, Bova's too cute and he's a handsome squirrel. Bova's going to come back soon. Don't worry, I already seen things. But no, it's just he's back with Zaniolo.
Yeah, and Keane.
Yeah, he's done. Fajoli's done. Fajoli's in the streets now. He's so done. He's never been so done.
Oh my god!
But no, I think there is something up with Fajoli. It could even be like he wasn't unhappy with something. Like I just do think there's something up, and I don't think it's performance related. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, like all those guys, you mentioned they could be doing great. There could be no space, and he wants to play more. Mm-hmm. But Fajoli never cared for that. Yeah. He's still a young kid. He's only 21, right? Like he's still young and still earning his stripes. 22,
23.
So it could be he wants to play more. It could be that too. But I don't know. There's something about it. It seems fishy to me. It seems very, very fishy. And I think it's something with his head, with him, with his habits maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But changing over now, let's talk shit about a team together, because we love to do this and they suck and they're nerds. And yeah.
Who are we talking about?
Milan.
Oh,
Milan
got the most confusing team I've ever seen.
Milan sacked their coach, Fonseca, my fucking
that
guy.
They all backed, and Ibra, no, this is the right guy. Give him time.
All
it's a process.
Stuff about how great he could be in this and that. And again, I'm not going to talk shit about Fonseca, because I even say that about him. Mm-hmm. I love Fonseca.
Yeah.
But that's because
everybody knows that.
For my team, what he did, it still lives rent free in my head, that he played a center back defensive mid and it worked so flawlessly. We won fucking 8 straight games. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? I just want your opinion now. Do you think Conceição is going to be a good coach? Because he got off to a flying start.
Yeah.
But there's already shades of failure creeping in. Let's talk about how none of their summer signings actually survived till January.
They didn't even survive a whole year, man.
Let's talk about what the fuck is going on with their striker situation. Yeah. Let's talk about everything Milan.
Dude,
it's all going to be...
There's a lot to talk about from them.
Most likely, it's going to be us talking shit.
No, but I mean, like, it's true though.
Not sorry. Yeah, like
it's not like we're not gonna
speaking in absolutes.
Yeah, only absolutes.
Yeah. So we'll start off with Conceição.
For me,
what's up with him?
For me personally, like I do think he's a good coach, but I don't think he's, and this can bite me in the ass. I don't think he's the right coach for Milan. He's got that kind of Conte kind of attitude, I feel like, towards players.
Yes.
Which, especially the players that Milan have, who a lot of them are divas, it's not going to work in the long run. Like, I don't like, that's the thing with, like, you got to, yes, you got to be a hard ass on your players, but you have to go about it in a certain way where they respect you. Because look how that worked out for Ten Hag, who wanted to flex his cock to everybody and be this big shot thing. You got to listen to me. I'll bench Ronaldo. I don't give a fuck. I don't care who you are. And look how that worked out for him.
Yeah.
Accomplished nothing with United, and he got sacked. Yeah. So I think like Calabria, he is not a good player. He is not.
That broke my heart.
He is not. He is not. If Milan want to do well, he's not going to be a starter on the team. I'm sorry. He's like a De Sciglio for me. He can be maybe a backup, a third string, but he's not a captain and he's not a thing. The way that at that case he was a captain for the team. He's been there the longest out of everybody there. Seeing what happened at the end of the game where he was fucking yelling at him because he got pissed off that he got subbed off, and he's fucking going at him at one of your players in the middle right there, where everybody around. That's fucking wrong. That's disrespectful. And then just like I agree. Seeing that video Calabria when he was leaving, like, it was sad. Like, dude, seeing him cry, like, that was like his boyhood club. Yeah, it's never easy to see, but it just, I don't know, man. I think Conceição, he's gonna have some big wins. There's gonna be times where everyone's gonna, I love him, but he's gonna do more bad than good. And I think it's gonna come to by the summertime, Milan's gonna be looking for another coach. I personally think so. And probably another whole new team, because they went 6 month loans. That's all they want to do.
I think Conceição lost the dressing room.
Yeah,
like I honestly do. Like, I saw something on X where they mentioned how, like, Conceição, like, you see the resurgence of Leao, this guy. Yeah, okay, maybe some people will benefit.
Some people, Leao against Inter still like shit.
Some people will have these theories. Like, some people will have these benefits. Some players have the Ibra mentality where they'll get along with Conceição, where it's like, oh, this guy's a serial winner. He just wants to win. I love that. But Milan's not ready for that coach.
Yeah.
Milan is not that team yet. It's what I said about Napoli at the beginning of the year. I think, though, I hate Conte because he's a prick and he's arrogant, but he comes there and he guarantees you results. And I was very, very skeptical to see if Conte and De Laurentiis could live on cohesion together, and if the team was ready for a coach of that standard, where it's like, he demands winning over everything else. He doesn't give a fuck about your happiness, right? Conceição doesn't have the team for that. I think on paper maybe they were good, this and that, but everything just doesn't make sense. And I think Conceição lost the dressing room, just like Fonseca lost the dressing room. Ibra, I think, respect him as a player, respect his attitude.
Yeah, I think he needs to leave.
I think he's done. Yeah. I think his time is up, and I think every decision he's making is literally backfiring. Yeah. I've never seen a team get all these guys just for within 6 months, not even a full fucking year.
And it's just
they're all gone.
It's funny because how he talked about them and how he backed them. Like, when they signed Morata, and like what he was saying about him, and how he's going to be the starter, and Morata's that guy, and trust me. All this stuff, and even with other guys, man, that all the other signed, and then you're seeing them today. Him, Okafor, who else did they get rid of? Benassier, all these, like, they're getting rid of these guys like fucking nothing. Like, it's man, I don't know. I feel like Milan, it's a ticking time bomb, and things are just gonna go very bad very quickly, and I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time. Like, he can turn around, get these guys in fucking like the military, and get them winning. But at the end of the day, Milan they were never like that. Juve was known for that, having like that. You went to Juve, like Cassano said, which like the one thing Cassano said, it was true. You went to Juve, you couldn't do what you did at Roma, or even like Inter, like these other teams where they expected higher of you, and they always wanted to fight for the title and be up there. but they weren't as strict as Juve was. Juve was very like, you can't do this, you got to be home by this, you got to do that. Like they were like an army, but they got results. Yeah. It came with a price, but at the end of the day, it worked out. Yeah. You got to be focused, and that and I just feel like just the whole mix of with Milan, even with the players like with Theo, Leao, like I can start seeing them start kind of going against the coach, and that's going to start a whole nother thing. And I don't know. I like the signing at first. I'm like, hey, you know what, man? I think this guy, but I don't know, man. Just from like what I'm seeing, how situations are being handled, it's just like they're just one more like situation, like him subbing off Theo or Leao like mid game or not starting them, then throwing a fucking hissy fit, and then he starts snapping at them in front of everybody, and then that just becomes a whole situation.
I think for me, okay, listen. I'm gonna go back to the Calabria thing, and I'll probably stand alone with this, and that's fine. I think there should be a matter of respect and a way to go about things with. I'm not going to call him a club icon or club legend, of course, but there should be some sort of respect and boundary or whatever you want to call it for homegrown players like that. You know what I mean? Like it's like literally homegrown, not in, we got him from here and, he played with our Primavera. No. Like he was born there, raised by this academy, and he was like, he swore an allegiance. Like Florenzi with Roma, Totti, De Rossi, like whatever, shit like that. Like there should be some sort of like respect for these guys and the way they went about business with Calabria. And again, I'm not saying Calabria is a starter or a club captain or the first name on the team sheet. No. He was never like once, especially Kyle Walker came.
Yeah, you knew he
definitely
was
backup, like stuff like that. But you should like a guy like that deserves way more respect.
Yeah,
like I even didn't like the way Roma handled Bove, and I thought that was a slap in the face. Seeing the way they handled Calabria, that's a big slap in the face. Your coach that you just appointed, you're backing him more. You're giving him exactly what he wants. You're getting rid of this guy. Why? Like, why? You know what I mean? It's like you're really throwing your eggs all in one basket with this Conceição guy and stuff like that. That's where it backfires. And
thing like I get it. You could be like, no, just to prove like how much how committed you are to like that vision that you're like, no, we're gonna fully commit. We're gonna back him. You start making these moves, you start doing these things, but then we've all seen how things can change very quickly.
Yep.
I mean, like prime example, not soccer, Luka Doncic. That whole thing that went on. The guy went from fucking I know Mark Cuban doesn't have really much say anymore there, but like the guy was literally like they asked him, would you rather trade Doncic or get a divorce with your wife? And he's like, hey, you asked me that question. Like I'll be at the divorce at the lawyer's office getting the divorce papers signed right now. A guy that you thought was a franchise player, all of a sudden like this, things change.
Yeah.
Every sport, it's like that, man.
Yeah.
Things can be good until they're not, and then all of a sudden, you're on a fight. You're getting traded to another team, and it's the thing with Milan. I get it. They're you can see the desperation now. They hated that what fucked them up last year was seeing Inter get that second star before them, especially being tied at that 19. Even though Inter should have only 18, but whatever. That's another episode.
Yep.
You can see it, man. They're doing things not in a smart way, but in a panicky way. And they have Ibra. Like I love Ibra. I love his cockiness. He was only with us for a short period of time, but he is not made for that role, at least yet in his career. Like he needs to experience different things. Maybe be like in kind of as like an assistant director and just kind of working the kind of shadowing somebody. I know it's Ibra, you'll never fucking shadow anybody, but work alongside somebody that he can kind of see how things are done, kind of see like a different way of looking at things. Because now I feel like he's just looking at it as a player and what the players want, which is good. You have that kind of connection, but it's not always going to work out for the interest of everybody else.
Yeah.
That's where like it just, I don't know. I think Conceição Ibra.
Yeah. I think Milan lost the plot entirely when they let go of Maldini. That was I think the biggest and I know it's easy now to say stuff like that because it's like, oh, look how everything trickled down where it's a downfall, blah blah blah.
But like, that was also one of those things too where you looked at and like you almost knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they got Maldini, you're like, dude, look what you guys did with Maldini at the helm. Like you guys are not going to do anything even close to what he's doing. And you've seen it. You've seen a decline every year that he's not there.
Yeah. And it's and there's something to be said like, yeah, I get it. American owners are very difficult, especially like, listen, Roma fans know we've had American owners for a while now. Like whether it was Palota, now it's the Friedkins. They look at this as a business venture.
Yeah.
They're not, their heart and soul isn't in it. They're not looking at it like, oh, we want to win championships. Obviously, it's great if that comes along. So obviously, Maldini spending big on these players and whatever went against what they wanted to do. But in saying that, it's almost as if Ibra now is appointed, and it's almost like a shitty Band-Aid that they put over a dire situation. Because it's like, oh, club legend, Ibra's there now. When it's like now Ibra is looking like the demise of the club, where it's obviously the owners and everybody else that is at fault. There's only so much Ibra could do as well. So it's like they will probably sack him. Yeah. By the end of this year, they will probably find somebody else to whatever, Talking about their striker situation now.
Actually, knowing Milan, what they would do? He's gonna finish the season. He's gonna do all right. They're not gonna sack him. Have a whole summer. He's gonna sign who he wants. Start of the season, couple games in, sack him.
Yeah. Or no, he'll step down and resign. Yeah, something like that. Like, oh, mutual consent.
He stepped down.
Blah blah blah. Even though we already know what the whole thing would actually be.
And Ibra's actually going to be the new coach.
That I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly.
I wouldn't. I'm surprised it happened yet.
It's like, you know what, man? It's like when people said when Totti retired and he stepped into head office. Obviously, I loved seeing Totti at every single game. It made me smile and shit like that. But Totti was never going to be that guy.
Yeah.
And he, if you looked at me and he said to me he's like a figurehead, cool, like a CEO type of thing. Cool, fine. Maybe go there, talk to a couple people, sweeten the deal. Yeah. Like, oh, they met Totti. Like, sick. Fine, I get that. But Totti should have never had power in who we signed because he's too arrogant. I love the guy to death. If I met him, I'd probably cry tomorrow morning. I'd cry on the spot, not tomorrow morning. That
maybe a little bit delayed.
Maybe both delay. Yeah, whatever. But Totti was always about him.
Yeah.
There's De Rossi. He would have been great in our head office, even as our coach. I loved him, but guys like that. Like obviously, Totti cares about the badge a lot, and he's openly said it. But he just doesn't have the mentality to be a guy. Like look at his scouting, his agency that he has now. He's lost all his clients, and he now has nobody, and just stopped doing it. Now he's just vibing again, and it's like, there's a reason. Like he probably told these guys, "You'll never be a number 10 like me."
Him and El Shaarawy.
Yeah, like what's going on with you, Totti? Like I love you, but. And it's the same.
It's not working out as him as an agent.
Yeah, these guys are great players, but sometimes it's just have them there to sweeten the deal.
Yeah,
some of these guys aren't selfless.
What Ibra, the role he should have is that of fucking how Nedved was kind of with us. He was there. He was I think he was the vice president, but. Yeah. He was there. He was involved in the signings conversations, but he wasn't the guy making the decisions. He wasn't fucking, you barely really heard him talking or anything. You hear Ibra, I feel like every time they do something, he's talking. Yeah, this is the move. I know, I thought of it. I know this is the right move to make. Yeah, then Fonseca sacked 6 months, not even 6 months, 4 months later.
He has all our support. Blah blah blah.
He needs to just be more, less vocal. Just kind of sit there, be a part of the team. Like you're trying to make a signing. You're trying to be trying to make a difference. And, a lot of teams are kind of being in that kind of race and it's a competitive market. You kind of bring Ibra in to meet the guy and kind of tell him, present him your offer. You kind of have Ibra there, that can be like a selling point. Like, it's like, fuck, Ibra. Yeah, use him for that. But I just think he's just too involved and he doesn't, especially for a team like Milan. I get it. He loves them, he wants to be there. It's just, I think he's doing more bad than good that he thinks he's doing. And they need someone, that knows what the fuck they're doing, like Maldini in there.
Yeah. Switching over, or do you want to talk shit about their attack?
I mean, we could talk quickly about their attack.
Yeah, let's quickly talk about that because I would like to actually talk about my boy Tam Abraham over there. Is my buddy.
You guys still good? You guys still friends?
Yeah, obviously. He'll always be my friend.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, I want to just say that these guys bought. I'm trying to search up something on my phone while I'm doing this.
That's okay.
I'm struggling because I'm.
Well, are you going to talk about the fact that they signed Morata, who was going to be their starting striker and the star, and he was the right man, said by Ibra, and so now you already know they sold him to Galatasaray
Yep.
and brought in Jimenez from Feyenoord, who they're all praising, but couldn't score a real goal in play against Roma in how many 6 games?
6 games.
6 games, scored a penalty. So super impressive from the guy. I think he's definitely going to be the that guy for them. Bringing Joao Felix in, super good team, maybe super good move. No teams want him. Definitely doesn't have like an attitude problem or nothing. Is going to start anything, and I think he's going to mesh very well with everybody. I think it's a super good move. Tammy, probably the best striker that they have. Probably not going to see the pitch as much because Milan's like that, and why play a guy that actually fits the team and helps the team out. May not score you 20 goals a season, but every game that he's playing, he's doing something. Helping the team, creating space, move like his ball movement off the ball is great. But fuck him. Why not? Why are we gonna start this guy? Let's look for another striker. Bring in Jimenez, who can't score against Italian teams.
You basically said every
in an Italian league.
I would bring up. Another thing I would bring up is the fact that they were, and I get why, but I also don't. They were willing to sacrifice Francesco Camarda. Try alone, I get it. To Monza, he'll get his playing time, which I agree. He deserves to get playing time. Yeah. Let him grow, let him develop, then you reap the benefits of that development. Yes. But Milan's not in a good spot. So if you're not in a good spot, what is the worst that could happen giving this 16-year-old a shot? Obviously, the deal fell through, which, again, that looks like now mismanagement. Why did the deal fall through? Did you realize you need him? Because why the fuck not? Or B, are you just that dumb? Like, what's going on?
Did you pull a PSG and loan out too many players, and now you can't loan out anymore?
I'm not saying Santiago Jimenez is a bad player. I think he is good. I don't think he's anything special. I think he's good. But Morata, I'll die on the hill and say he's not bad. He's a good player. You give him time, you give him support, you give him whatever. There's a reason why he was on a Euro winning team and he was able to do what he did and he looked good. He's good in build-up play. He's good at supporting. He was selfless as hell. Is he consistent that he scores a brace or this every game? No, obviously not. But he's a good enough player, especially when you're a team looking for a quick fix. I love a guy like Morata.
He fits perfectly.
Camarda is your future. You want to back him to the hills, of course. Then Morata, you'll get 2-3 years out of him. And who better to mentor your young 16-year-old prodigy than a guy that's experienced it all, won it all, and is good. Then you have Tammy Abraham, who I'm not saying, again, is the best or worst player, but he's good enough. And I would with open arms take him back at Roma. I don't care. He may not, again, get all the goals like you said. He may not be whatever, but he's selfless. He's a hard worker. He drops for the ball. He's good at linking play.
He doesn't care if he doesn't score for 3 games. He's still gonna go out there and fucking keep playing until he tears another ACL.
You know what I mean? He's not everything in an international thing because England, whatever, but club level.
He's won everything club level.
He's accomplished it all, and he's good enough. Why not? Now you read, we want to terminate Tammy. We got rid of Morata. But we got Santiago Jimenez. So now you're going to tell me you're going to back this new number 9, throw him into the fire. You're not doing that well. Your attack is in shambles, in a sense. New coach that hasn't even got his system across to the players. Now you're going to bring this guy that doesn't know the system and doesn't even know the coach's system. And you're now just going to start him right off the rip. Because let's get real. Tammy's not going to play.
No,
Tammy's not going to start. Okafor's gone too.
To Napoli.
So what's your game plan? What's going to happen? Did you just try to rebuild a team in January? Really? Is that what you're trying to do here? With literally from the coach on.
It's Milan, man. They always do some questionable things. Man. I feel like it just that whole thing started from when they realized the summer that they were becoming free, that they were going to lose Kessie Hakan and Donnarumma all for free without offering them a contract, and didn't even try to do that and just lost them all 3. And you're already there. You saw how the management handles things, and it hasn't got better since. There's been, times where, you've seen them, make some smart moves and you're like, okay, you know what? Fuck, don't like seeing that, but hey, Milan's actually doing something good for once. But man, I don't know, like within this last year, and it's and not even to brag or like say like, oh yeah, like I knew, but like the only time, like dude, when they signed Fonseca, I was like, he is not the right guy. Like that is not a Milan. I'm sorry, he's not a Milan coach.
No, rightfully so. And I understand
a lot of people, were saying the opposite. That oh no, he's look what he's done, and he's experienced, and he's he has the right players, man. Watch what he can do. Okay, see how long that lasted. That did not last, and I'm just seeing the same thing with Conceição, man. I feel like Milan now, what they honestly need
is a rebuild of sorts,
but not like, because man, you see that they had like they got a good core. It's not like they're not completely at that point where it's like, yo, we need a whole new 11. Like we are fucked. Like they need pieces. Mm-hmm. I'm saying from a coaching standpoint, I think that is their hardest decision. Yeah. Who they can sign, as a midfielder, as a fucking defender. They need defense, but they'll find those guys. They'll figure that out. The coach, I feel like for Milan especially, that has to be, take your time with it. Make sure you make the right decision, because there's a lot of coaches that they're not going to be able to handle it, and they're not going to be able to, it's not just, fucking trying to put the best team out there and win games. It's also you're dealing with a team that, it's not just kids where you can just fucking yell at, belittle, and tell them like, hey, you sacrifice, we're going to win, and it's going to be worth it, and they'll believe you, and they believe in this plan and they want to do it. You're also dealing with prima donnas who, every team has them. And as a coach, you have to handle them in a certain way that, you're not really, especially in front of everybody, making them feel special and, making everybody known that they're special. But, there's that little bit of difference of how you deal with things when you're talking with them. And I feel like just Milan doesn't have it, because, you saw it with Fonseca. You're seeing it with Conceição already early on. I'm trying to think of a coach like that would probably be the most ideal for them right now, and like I honestly I don't even know.
You know what?
Like it's that's actually like a very hard choice.
It's just tough, because now I understand why they sacked Fonseca, because obviously it's damage control at that point. It's what if we keep him the whole year?
Who can we blame?
What's gonna come out of this? Like, can we literally miss out on Europe?
Yeah,
this, that, whatever, or obviously extreme case here, get relegated. That probably wouldn't happen, but there's always these thoughts, and appointing Conceição is, I guess, like I said, damage control. But
big time.
it's just a shitty thing, because January or like mid-season appointments like that don't usually work out the best. Like obviously Roma's fortunate. Ranieri, though, he knew what he was getting into. He's also coached Roma 2 separate times before this, right? So he knows
it's not like a whole new team for him.
You know what I mean? It's not even a whole new league like it is for Conceição, right? So like for him, this is damage control, and he's controlling the damage, right? Like he's getting us up there. We're actually not losing games stupidly, like, or anything like that, right? So there's a whole thing and whatever. It's like I look at now with Milan, and they got to figure out what their path is. Yeah. Are you exploding whatever project you thought you had going, starting fresh? Because then maybe, you go all in for a guy like a De Zerbi. I would have said them getting Amorim would have been great for them, because I think he is a great fucking coach, and I think he would have done very, very well in Italy. And I think if, he had a full season or whatever, he'd be great. United right now isn't doing the best, which
nobody's
sucks.
going to do well there.
But I was going to say nobody's doing well there right now. So it's whatever. With Milan, the only person that I could think of would be, again, De Zerbi. But what the hell is going to be the outcome of this guy right now? What is going to happen with Conceição? Are you going to literally lose your whole team? Are these guys going to be so pissed with Milan that they're going to, Leao is going to request a transfer in the summer? Theo, this guy, your big hitters, that your big core.
Yeah.
What's going to happen now?
Start losing those guys, man. Then
even them failing to sign, what's his name over there from Torino? I just saw the notification about fucking Torino signing something. That's why I'm saying it. Them failing to sign Samuele Ricci.
Oh yeah.
Who came out and said, "I would love to go play for Milan."
Yeah.
Come on,
they couldn't close.
We talked about Samuele Ricci before.
Yeah, that guy
that is
now
probably
said
one
that
of the best defensive mids in the league, on par with Locatelli, on par with whatever. And he said he was down, and you dropped the ball. And you got some random guy from Monza for 10 mil. Now, I'm not saying the guy from Monza may not be a stroke of brilliance, because who knows? What if he comes and he kills it? Obviously, there's always that chance.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather drop an extra 15 mil, get the guy that you know is going to fucking do well? How did you fumble that?
I would think so.
And now Torino looks like they're building generational midfielders, getting Cesare Casade and fucking having Samuel Erici. Like, right? Like, it's crazy.
They're gonna be crazy.
They're still gonna lose the fucking Juve, you know what I mean? Fucking nerds. But
hopefully,
I want to talk about United before we finish this up. I want to talk shit about them.
Yeah,
because
they're always they're always just so fun to talk shit about, because no matter what they change, no matter who they sign, they are always shit.
Yeah, and their fan base on Twitter is probably, like, besides Arsenal, those two fan bases are the funniest and weirdest.
Yeah, no, dude, United is the worst, man. That guy, United Trey, holy dude, I've never seen a more delusional.
See, like, I don't know if he's doing it because he thinks it's funny. Like, man, people are laughing.
He genuinely, like, he does it. He just, I think he just thinks like that.
Yeah,
and he thinks like he's like, I don't even, like, he thinks he's like Jose Mourinho with his football knowledge.
Yeah, dude, it's absurd, and that's why I love seeing the downfall of United. Yeah, like, I don't like seeing the downfall of Milan, even though I'm a Roma fan. I should love to see that. I don't like seeing it because growing up, Milan was always the funnest team to watch.
Dude, no.
Like, even as a Roma fan, you know, like, utmost respect for
one
that.
of my best friends is a United fan. I'm sorry for him, but I fucking love it, man.
Oh,
just because it's so comical.
It makes it better because they are spending 100 mil at a time.
Oh, easily.
And they aren't batting an eye, and somehow it is nothing is
working. Dude, they spent 100 mil on a fucking Anthony.
And look at that.
On a fidget spinner.
And look at that.
Yeah.
Look at Lenny Yoro over there, generational center back.
Hoyland. I forgot about him. I just remembered about that.
I forgot that too.
I literally just remember 70 mil for Hoyland.
Yeah. And now that guy at Diallo's doing well. Oh, we found our new star. It's like, oh, here we fucking go. I can't wait for the wheels to fall off that train.
Oh, yeah,
it's gonna come crashing hard. Now you lost Rashford too, who again I get.
Yeah, no, that move needed to happen. He needed to leave there.
Feel bad again because he homegrown boy.
Yeah, but like, especially the way things were going, man, he needed that. He needed a change.
Yeah,
I saw a video this week. I don't know if you've seen it. It was there's another show like with Carragher, Neville.
Yeah.
Rooney was on there and they were talking about Rashford. And he was saying, like, he's like, yeah, like, you know, a couple months ago, like, I spoke to him and I told him, like, straight up, I said, you need to leave United. You know, with the situation what's going on there, you know, just how you've been playing, you know, with your situation outside of soccer, you have to leave there. You need a fresh start. You need you need a whole new start. That's what you need. Yeah. So, and, you know, now finally seeing that, I think, you know, I think it's going to be a good move for Rashford, and which will be funny because it's just a loan, right?
Yeah.
Then he'll probably go back to United. They're like, oh, dude, he's back. He's going to be sick for us, and then he's going to plummet down because honestly, United stink.
And I hope Rashford does do well because he's always been like a classy player. Yeah. He's not an arrogant prick or whatever. But it just goes to show, like, sometimes, like, the overall atmosphere and environment of these teams, like United isn't an ideal atmosphere or environment, clearly.
Yeah.
You know, like, how is it that all these guys, like even Hoyland, I'm not saying Hoyland was great on Atalanta and he was the next best thing, but he was showing glimpses of being a good player if he grew in this and that, right? Then you look at him on United, he genuinely, like, what is he, a counter-attacking merchant now? like that's all it is. And it's like, you look at stuff like that, it's like every guy I could think of, they go there to die.
Even their like career, but then the funny thing is, and like, it's because it's when those players leave United and they go somewhere else, they have this newfound life about them. Like, you see that it's a completely different player. You think that they're dead, and they're like they sign somewhere else. Like, oh, dude, why are they even signing him? And all of a sudden, the guy's just doing unreal. You're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, okay, I know McTominay. We knew that last year. Like we said, he was their best player that they had.
He's doing well too. Actually.
He's doing well with Napoli right now. Like, but he was one of those, like, he didn't look shit with United at the time. Like, when he was playing, we always said, like, yo, this is their best player.
That's a guy that just works hard. You know what I mean? And like, guys that work hard will always stand out over players with all the talent in the world, right? Like,
big time.
That's why McSaw stood out because he worked fucking hard. You know?
But I mean, I know it was on their Conte, like his love, but like, you know, look at Lukaku when they got him from United. Like, it was like, oh, dude, fucking look how this guy's overweight, he's shit, whatever. He goes to Inter and he probably has two of his best seasons of his career. like these guys, like even okay. I mean, I wish Pogba had a longer stint his second time when he came and was actually able to play. But even those when he came in for 10 minutes one game and half of probably like a full half the second game, dude, he looked like that old Pogba, the way he was moving and just his vision, and you see that how like United literally kills you from inside. Like,
and
you're not the same person.
Like, even like I never expected Amorim to get off to this crazy start.
No, I knew it was going to be
because
a struggle.
Coming in January, it's going to be tough, right? Like no matter what coach you are, who you are, it's always going to be tough. But even seeing him, like the stuff he's saying in his press conferences, like he doesn't hold back.
No,
fantastic. I love that.
No,
but like I'm looking at these conferences, like you're not going to last, not because they're going to sack you, but you're going to want to leave. Yeah. Like there's like he
mentally already seems like he's he's getting there, buddy. You okay?
I'm dying inside.
It's okay.
And yeah, they signed that left back.
So you're okay.
What?
So you're not a United, so you're okay.
No, that'd be even worse. They signed Patrick Dorgu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they were able to convince him. I gotta.
I still don't know how United figure like convinces players. Still,
like it's crazy to me.
I feel like players just they don't watch soccer because you cannot watch soccer, see how bad United is, and be like, nah, I still want to go there. They got good history.
Yeah, like I don't know how they think that is. Like even Lenny Yoro, you're coming off of like you are the next best wonder kid. You're this, and you're just willing to just part ways and be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to United now.
Yeah.
For what? You know what I mean? For what? And now it's the same with Dorgu. Dorgu is great. I'm not saying if he should have stayed in Italy, he should have went to Roma or whatever. Obviously, it would have been great. We were linked with him.
Imagine that,
like now he's on United, and I already know his career is going to be done.
Yeah,
like his career is genuinely done. And you look, and I don't know what these guys are doing at United that they're able to persuade everybody. Are they that rich? If they were that rich, how do they have that money when they don't sell anybody?
And they don't make anything either because they don't win anything. I've been trying to think of that for the longest time, man. I don't know. I look at some teams and you start seeing like the pull's not there anymore. Some teams are like, how the fuck they still do it? United is the biggest mystery, man. It's I do not understand how they have any pull whatsoever.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Barca, you could understand the allure.
Yeah,
Messi came from there, right?
Messi played here at one point. He's probably gonna come watch a game. Just come sign for us.
Arguably one of the greatest dynasties that we witnessed. Like there's that. And Barca is still a team that is always first, or they're always in top four within their respective league. United is genuinely not even that team anymore. And it's like, how are you able to pull players in? There's no reason.
They're not like they're barely like a top 8 team anymore, man. It's crazy to say because growing up, I always saw United as they were always like a top team. Like they were a team that in Champions League you wouldn't want to come up against because you knew that they were going to be a hard time. And in their own league, like teams they feared United. Like they were not an easy team to beat.
Yeah.
Now people want to play United.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know it's that's pretty much a free win for us.
Yeah.
So
they're not. I don't. And I think
they circle that date in their calendar.
I think it's going to be a long time before you see United really. Hit
I think
that level again.
If United, like if they're serious and they're like, no, that we need to change something. You guys got the right coach. Now you got to listen to him, back him, and you got to do a real fucking club cleaning this year.
Yeah.
Whoever should not be there, and whether they're toxic to the team or they're just not good enough, you try to get rid of them, whatever you can, loan it, sell it, whatever you could do, and you try to bring in the guys that he needs.
Yeah.
Give him the time, see how the season goes, and hey, at the end of it, not saying it's going to work 100%, but you can't expect him to do anything with pretty much Ajax team from 2017. And come in and do miracles with this team because it's not going to happen. It's not a good team, and Ten Hag ruined it by making them sign how many players they did and who the fuck they did.
Oh yeah,
a lot of them should not have been signed, but that's just United for you.
Yeah, and frig United,
obviously.
Last question I'm going to ask you.
Yeah,
there was a debate we were having at my workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, without obviously you can't say Ronaldo.
Okay, Ronaldo.
And I'm not saying Cristiano Ronaldo. We were talking about the greatest striker.
Mm-hmm.
of our time who it was, right? So you could say anybody, obviously, but it can't be Ronaldo because that's obvious. Can't say Messi. Can't say Cristiano. Number 9, striker.
So can't say
center
all
forward.
any of those three.
Yes.
R9, CR7,
Yeah.
LM10.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say any three of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you saying?
Just one person.
Just one. And then you're telling me why. Well, obviously you have to tell me why quickly.
In our generation, it's between 3 players. Then it gets knocked down to 2 because I'll try to look at their careers as a whole, and they did go missing at certain times, like this one guy, so I'm gonna eliminate him, and then that player is Kun Agüero, who would have been there.
Okay.
The next person, which would have been up there, Zlatan.
Okay.
My number 1 striker of my generation.
I thought you were going to say Shevchenko because you were saying shh.
No,
like,
striker of my generation, I would say, is Luis Suarez. Okay. I think he was just the perfect, ideal striker. You put him on to any team at that point in his prime, he fits on every team and he's a starter. He was doing the same thing internationally as he was doing club level. You saw him playing in multiple leagues. For me, even as much as he obviously ruined a lot of his name because he fucking could stop biting people. Like, dude, keep your fucking teeth in your mouth. But you can't take away from his ability and just the numbers he was putting up and just how clinical he was as a striker.
Well, that's awkward because that's mine.
Oh,
literally, I was talking about it, and literally, it's a name I forgot in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, I was like, oh, there's Zlatan.
Mm-hmm.
I love Zlatan for his height, everything he did. Ooh, then there's Lewandowski. On Dortmund monster, Bayern monster. Now, obviously he's slowing down because he's older, but still,
you still see
solid
his
enough. Whatever. Then I was gonna go with the homegrown boy, Batistuta, because it's Batistuta, and I could still make a case for Batistuta.
Yeah,
but my whole heart doesn't fully agree with Batistuta, knowing there was still a guy named Luis Suarez.
Yeah, no.
And then I was trying to think of better.
Man, too much of a
Crespo,
generational player.
Vieri, this guy. I even thought his counterpart, Forlan.
Yeah.
Or Cavani.
But Forlan only came alive during competition, during fucking country competitions.
And I was thinking Tevez, because that's another underrated guy. And Tevez was probably the only one, besides Batistuta, obviously, whatever, is the only other one to me that I was like, ooh, this is actually a tough show right now. But Luis Suarez.
Tevez, yeah. he'd 100%, he'd be up there for me, but no, I think if I had to do top 3, I would have said, like I said, Agüero, Ibra, and him. But I think Suarez, by a landslide, I think he takes that, especially when you're not including those other guys that you said.
Yeah.
I think, man, Suarez was too clinical, and just, like I said, he it's very rare that you have a guy that you could put him on any team and he'll fit, no problem, without anything, without even anything changing or adjusting.
Any system you want a predator that's just going to score, got it. Yeah. You want a guy that's going to build up the play and help assist and this and that, got it. You want a guy that's going to work hard 90 minutes, run up and down, got it. Yeah. He is genuinely the complete package.
No, he was, man,
and he was the epitome of team player, and he just wanted to win.
Yeah,
he made Liverpool relevant in a time they were irrelevant.
Oh my god,
he came to Barca.
When you looked at that Liverpool team, man, and now you looking at the names, who they are, and you see him up there, like other than him and Coutinho, dude, it was a lot of nobodies, and he guys that are almost 40 years old.
He went to a Barca team that was essentially complete. That anybody could have played striker, of course. Yeah. But nobody would have been able to do what he did in regards to linking Neymar with Messi like that.
No.
You know what I mean? He was – obviously, Messi will always be number 1 on every single fucking game sheet. There's zero doubt in my mind about that. But Suarez genuinely completed that front 3. It's like Firmino completing Mane and Salah. right? Like those are the guys that it's like those are team players. Those are
Yeah.
your generational nines that are really swept under the rug because they did everything else for you, right? So, yeah, we agree on that. It's kind of crazy. Hell yeah, brother.
We agree on something finally.
Hell yeah, gangster.
I don't know, man. I think ever since the stars aligned and Roma beat Lazio, man, it's been a lot of good vibes between us.
I don't know why we're agreeing so much.
A lot of agreeing.
Has Roma played Juve yet this year?
Yeah, we did.
Did you guys win?
No, I think we tied. We tied.
Oh fuck, that's probably why then.
Yeah,
because we tied.
It's good vibes.
Yeah, that's all. You know what? I like it.
That's what we do.
Roma gonna be in top 4 soon forward.
Soon.
Probably not.
No.
But
Soon follow.
If Lazio lost, it maybe crazy huge for us, but
they're gonna lose. You know they're gonna drop points.
We're gonna
they stink.
But
they stink.
On that note, guys.
Anyways,
we hit our mark.
Yes, we did, and we will be going now.
Yes.
We will hear you next week. We will see you next week. If you haven't already, don't forget to go and follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at UltrasXI. Check out our YouTube channel, UltrasXI. Go subscribe there. Send us a comment that you came from here so we know. And yeah, we'll hear you next week. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, another Roma dub, another Juve dub.
Juve dub too. Maybe we get 2 dubs this week. Maybe we beat Milan on Wednesday. Maybe we beat Venezia 6:30 Sunday.
Dude, hopefully we'll come back next week with 2 dubs.
That'd be fucking.
We'll hear you next week. We'll see you next week. Ciao.
See you later.